Okay. Hello everybody, this is it. This is the Sony PSVR2. No, it's not Rokk, I hear you say. It's very much a cardboard box. This is also true. So let's open this little puppy up. Now, I happen to have with me a very handy, if not particularly ugly, kitchen knife, and of course a box. As you can see, Rokk VIP, they sent it to the correct place. Right, so let's slice in without slicing my fingers off. And so I ordered this in November of last year, which is, where are we, February? Woohoo! November, it's about 4 months ago. March, probably about 3-4 months. We're coming up to March. But I did get it on the day of release, which is amazing. And that looks very familiar. Let's turn it out. There we are. We can discard of that box. Goodbye, tree. So, familiar box. Oh, look at this. A piece of not particularly helpful tape. No idea what the purpose of that was, but it's taken off some of my blue paint. I'm sorry, PlayStation, this is not good enough. PSVR2, here we are. I do have the PSVR1. I had it for my 50th birthday 6 years ago. And it was basically, did the job. I used it for, played with it for about 6 months, and I started getting nausea. I actually started feeling pretty sick using it. And what's interesting is, it was a bit like a Pavlovian thing. So I'd think to myself, should I fire up the PSVR? And I'd start to feel a bit queasy. So I was all set to kind of leave it and forget it. And hey presto, I had it on one day and I thought I could smell burning. And indeed, it was coming from the power brick of the PSVR. So I got rid of it. That was the end of it. I thought, no, that sat out in the garage. I actually think it's probably okay. But what I'm going to do is sell it to part pay for this little beast, who I need to thank Google Stadia for contributing greatly towards, as well as many relatives over the Christmas and birthday period. Right, so I always like the way that Sony do their boxes. Apple do a similar thing. There's kind of they've obviously got a designer that looks at this. So you get this little kind of fold out effect, which is quite nice. And this is in fact a shell. It's just a skin, if you will, over the actual box of the item itself. So we'll just turn that over and very carefully place that over there. And here we are. We have the box, which I've just managed to tip everything out of. Now, Sony say, don't throw this box away because it's a handy storage case, which is true, except in my case, I would have said that was put in upside down, but it's interesting, actually. I would go as far as to say this hasn't been very well packaged. There seems to be, I can't really show you, sorry about this, but you basically have the box with bits in. You have the headset, 2 controllers, but they weren't bedded. Now that could just be a process of travel, but it also could be a fairly slack packaging personage who's probably on minimum wage. And one of these, which are not cheap, £529.99. When are businesses going to stop with the 1p off? It's a psycho trick and it absolutely works because everybody says it's 520. It ain't. It's 530 minus 1 penny. 550 in the US, I believe. Now, bearing in mind the 530 in the UK does include 20% tax, so it's actually 500 or 490 or something like that. So, as we've just alluded to, that's a box. And very kindly, gravity has allowed the items within that said box to be released. Well, we'll help it further. So here we are. We have some, you know, there was a time when we used to get really thick manuals with stuff, cameras and televisions and computers. They come with a book, and even better if it was ring bound. And there were some that came with loose leaf ring binders that you could actually take pages out and add pages in. Not anymore. Nowadays you get the usual guarantee stuff, which ain't worth the paper it's printed on, because ultimately, particularly if you live in the UK or America, you've got rights anyway that supersede anything they may try to tell you. There is a little manual, which of course is in multiple, actually, do you know what? It's not in multiple languages. The whole thing is actually in English, which is very interesting, which potentially means that this is absolutely purposed for the UK market, which no doubt is the case with the various plugs and things. We'll check all this out in a second. I'm not going to bother to read the manual, not least of which because you guys don't want to hear me reading about the manual, and I've watched enough videos to know how this thing goes together. So within the box, as well as its two bits of reading, we have a USB-A to USB-C, and what I love is that Sony are using recyclable things, you know, the thing that you use, you wrap around, a wrapping thing. I don't know why it's recyclable. I mean, it's using some kind of paper, but it still has wire, so you can't just throw it in your compost, unless you want to retrieve the wire in a couple of 100 years. And these headphones, these are compatible with the PlayStation's 360-degree audio view thingy-bob. It has one tiny 2.5mm, I believe that is, headphone jack, a little clip here, and then the buds. It does come with different sizes of bud, but typically I tend to find that the ones that come out the box do work. Now I always look straight away for a left and right, but you don't need to on this one because it can only go in one place on the headset, which means that it dangles down and goes into the left and right ear. So I'm going to try one anyway, just for size. It's okay, maybe a bit small, but we'll try that in a second. So let's put those bits over there. What else have we got in here? Well, we of course have the headset itself with its permanently attached USB-C cord. Now you remember, if you ever saw the PSVR1, or if indeed you owned one, it came with a plethora of umbilical cords, which were a real pain, and they got everywhere, and they were thick, and there was a separate adapter that you needed, and wow, it never ended. And it was certainly a criticism of the PSVR1. Interestingly, it was hoped that Sony would do away with a tethering lead completely. Truth is, for the transference of high quality images across a Wi-Fi network that Sony cannot guarantee, it's open to interception, it's open to interference. It just made a heck of a lot of sense to plug this little puppy straight into the PlayStation. Don't forget, this also is a kind of just shy of 4K at 120 frames per second, 120 hertz. It's a lot of data to transmit across the wirelessness of a Wi-Fi network. So that's understandable. Let's take off the paper. I don't know how recyclable this stuff is. I would say this is a plastic kind of poly bag thing. I doubt that's particularly recyclable, but you know what? At least they got their paper-based ties. Let's not complain. Oh, let's have a sniff. Interestingly, not much of an odour at all. No. There is a very, very faint one around the padding, but it's almost imperceptible. And in fact, it's quite pleasant. It's almost like you walk into a furniture showroom and you get the fabric-y smell from the chairs. It's that, but there's no fabric here. There's plastics, and there are rubbers, and of course glass. Now you are some distance from me. I will put it up closer for you to see. You're thinking, Rokk, how the hell are you doing this? I'm actually using my 360-degree camera, so it's got a little bit of a fisheye thing going on, but it'll allow me to show you the PS5 and plugging it in without having to stop the camera or use a different one. You see what I did there? So, as is the case with most of these devices these days, you pull the back to pop it over the top of your head, and then there is a ratchet to tighten it up once it's actually on the back of your head. I'll pop it on in a second. Of course, you are going to unfortunately get used to the fact that there is this cable dangling. It is, I cannot believe that it won't have some level of distraction. You know, it's a fairly weighty, thick cable, so that's going to be on your left side whether you like it or not. Now let's have a look at this. Okay, so here I can instantly see two holes, one there and one there, which are where the headpiece will plug in. Apologies for the light, we're using natural daylight here, so as it moves around the room, parts of me will be more illuminated than others. But if you're not sure what I look like, you'll just check out my videos. Right, so this is how it works. So basically, pop that, let me see, would you want the cable? Yeah, you want the cable inside, so you push the headphone jack in, and then its little stabilizing pin, there, now that's a really tight fit, so that ain't coming out. And now, we know exactly which is left and right. So, inside the, let's get this cable around here. Inside here we've got the two lenses. Now I've watched videos where they talk about what kind of lens they are. There are a special lens, I don't know. You know, that's not what I do. I'm just showing you this stuff. So I'm going to pop it on my head and give you an instant feel for how it feels. Let's do this. Get the headphones out of the way. Oh, hang on, there it goes. You've got to push the little button in. Oh, it's dark. Okay, and then tighten it up. Now I'm getting something's not right here. That's better. I was getting a little bit of tightness. And there's a little bit of weight there as well. They say that it's comfortable and light. I'm finding it a little uncomfortable and a little heavy at the moment, and I think that's likely to be because these lenses need to be adjusted and stuff. Now obviously I can't see a dicky bird because we're not plugged in, but I do have to say my instant feel for this is that hurts. that is not on my head properly, so I need to have a proper look at this. What am I doing wrong here? Let me see. Can't be. So one assumes that this, so basically what was happening is, you can see this is a real thin piece of rubber, and so its only purpose is to block out light, this little thing here. Now I was using this to kind of balance it, and I'm fairly certain I was getting it wrong. So I need to really give this some thought. This is the part that should be on your head, this piece here, and that's not how I had it. So let's give it another go. Pull it out, pop it over, and you see now though where that kind of is, that's a bit better. That's a bit better, but it's still sat on my nose. Okay. Yeah, so where before I had the band at the top of my cranium, if that's the right part, that was pushing it downwards and not really working. So for me at least, I need to have it near the base of my skull, just above the spine. That seems to be more comfortable, but I think, to be honest, until I get this thing plugged in, it's going to be impossible to know if that's correct or not. So that's fine, we'll pop that over there. Next up in the box, and there's only 2 more items, is the controllers. And we can actually put this box down now, I think. So they've kind of leaned on the Oculus Quest in terms of look and feel for these, which I think is okay. It's a proven model. They both come with a wrist strap with a self-tightening. This is actually the right-hand side one, I believe. But I may be wrong. Actually, probably the left-hand side. Yeah, that's more like it. Okay. So the idea is you put your wrist through. Not sure which way. Let's try that way instead. That feels better. And then you're supposed to sort of, there you go, move your wrist and it tightens it up on its own. And then it sits quite comfortably, just rests on your hand. You've got your little analog stick, which does have push down. I'll never forget my PS Vita never had that, and it irked me forever. You have the L1 trigger, the L1 button just here. You're actually using your middle finger, excuse me missus, to play with that one, and your index finger is on L2, L1 and L2, so L2 being the trigger. Now these use haptic feedback the same way as the DualSense adaptive triggers, I think they call it. So once it's plugged in and working, this will actually resist depending on the game itself. So if you're shooting, you're going to get some level of resistance, that kind of a thing. I don't know how these actually switch on, and it may be that they do. We'll check all this out in a second. There is a kind of a pairing button here, and there is a PS button as well. Very, very light, incredibly light in fact. I didn't expect them to be this light. So it's good that you do have that strap, because I think if you didn't, it's likely to come off. However, with this bar cage, that makes it harder as well. When you let go, it kind of rests on your fingers, which is pretty cool. See, I'm still not 100% sure that this is the left. The only reason I say that, I'm not even sure how you undo this strap either once it's on. Do you do it the same way? Or do you just pull it? Oh, you just push it, okay. The reason I'm saying that, it kind of feels like it should be. Yeah, I think it is. It's just that Sony is facing outwards, but then that would make sense. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to guess that is the left. I'm going with the left for now. And this is the right. Obviously, no material difference other than it's designed for a different hand. So again, you pull that apart like that to make it wide enough for your hand. Put your hand through, and then just kind of get used to doing it. It's not working for me now. There you go. Pull it down and away from the device. It's designed to kind of work that way. And there you are. Finger in there. Index finger on the trigger, that feels about right. You don't need to use your middle finger. I'm just feeling it now. Actually, it would work with your thumb, but if you're using your thumb, you're not using the analog sticks. In fact, that isn't a pairing button. Of course it's not. That is your broadcast button as far as the controller is concerned normally. So if you imagine those two together, it's essentially a kind of a baby version of a controller. 2 analog sticks, your options, your broadcast button, your square, your triangle, your circle, and your X, with both of them having a PS button. I'm not sure whether that's to fire them up or fire the PlayStation up or how it's going to work, but we'll find that out in a minute. Right, the moment of truth. I'm actually going to walk over to my PlayStation. For purists are going to get really upset with me on this. My PlayStation sits behind the TV. You cannot see it, but I do have an Xbox in front of the TV, and the reason is simple, that fitted. It fitted into the unit, and I can use it to watch DVDs, so shoot me. But right now I am using my PlayStation more than I'm using the Xbox, and anybody that watches my shows on a regular basis knows that I am nobody's pony, nobody's shill. I'm all about the games, and it doesn't matter where you play them. Right, let's try and take off this eco-friendly tightening gadgety thing. There we go, there's one. And of course they take ages. You have to unwind them in whatever way they were wound. There we go, right. So, follow me as I come over to the other side of the room. So here we are, PS5 is already up and running. I bought a couple of VR games, as you can see, Kayak VR Mirage and Tentacular. Also, I downloaded again my copy of No Man's Sky because that has a VR option out of the box. And I believe there are a couple of other games as well that have VR options as well. So I need to do some research. And the way this is supposed to work is, let's just pop it on the floor, that you simply plug it into the USB port on your PlayStation, which is actually unencumbered, so that's good. I don't have anything in there, that's excellent news. So, the device has been plugged in, and I can actually see, I don't know if you can see this, there's a little red LED and a power button. So just because I haven't really shown you this, guys, 4 cameras used to keep aware of your environment. A little button here that you use for a couple of different things, but the main reason is you use this to have a look around with the headsets on, so you can look around where you are. Power button, and I'm not sure what that is, a speaker, I guess. So let's push that in and see what happens. The red light has turned to a white light. We now have update the PlayStation VR2 device software to the latest version. This will be quick. The console won't need to restart after it's complete. If you don't update now, your PSVR2 will turn off. Warning. Right, well, let's grab the controller. Right, okay, so update now. Oh, that was quick. They were right, weren't they? They were absolutely right. And look at this, this is interesting. So now we not only have, oh, it's gone. Not only did we have a controller icon telling us how much battery was left, but it also showed that a PSVR2 headset was indeed connected. So set up your PSVR2, get ready for an immersive gaming experience with the PlayStation VR2. To get started, set up your PSVR2 Sense controllers, that's these 2 guys up here, which I'll bring down. Adjust eye tracking and create a play area. Right, well, let's get started. So, yes please, I'd like to do this. So, connect the stereo headphones, we've done that, so they're in place. Pair your PSVR2 Sense controllers. Oh, okay, so we need to use, how fiddly. We need to use USB-A to USB-C. Pair them one by one. Well, I do have a USB-A plugged in. I'm not sure what's on the other end of it though. So let me just pull it and see what whinges. Here it comes. I do believe it is, in fact, the USB-A that comes with the device for charging controllers. So that's all good. Right, we're going to plug that in and hope that, we're putting it in the right hole, actually. There it goes. Alrighty. Pair your PSVR2 Sense Controller L is now connected. So this is left. Yes, I'm happy with that. Next, pair your controller by pressing the PS button. Alright, it's now paired. Brilliant. So next, connect the right hand one, which kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Where are we? Where is it? Where is the oh, there it is. There it goes. It's very quick, isn't it? The pairing and the whole thing. That's now done. Oh, we have to press the PS button as well, on there. So there we go. Both are connected and paired. Awesome. Unplug the USB cables from your PSVR2 Sense controller and put them down within easy reach. Well, that was the right hand one. So I want to make sure, I don't want to confuse myself. There we go, just like this. What's next? Unplug the cables. When you're ready, press the function button on the VR headset. So that is that button. There we go. Now, before you use this, be careful, under the age of 12, look after folk. Okay. To enjoy a safe VR experience, set up your room properly. Clear some space so that there's nothing you'll bump into. Well, I suppose I ought to get rid of the boxes then. As it happens, I have a fairly sizable lounge, so it's always been quite good for this purpose. And I'm just going to lift you up a little bit. Just a little bit. There we go. That's better. So, to enjoy a safe VR experience, set up your room. Right, here we go. So, pick it up, and press the same button. Next, turn on the lights in your room. Lights are now on. Strong lights can make tracking difficult, but they're not that strong. And it says close the curtains. Well, we did that. We anticipated the Sony. Next, check the brightness of your room using the camera on your VR headset. So, how do I do that? And what are you saying? He's looking. Check the brightness of your room using the camera. Hold your VR headset at face level and then press the function button to start checking. Right, it's at face level. I'm now checking. Brightness check is complete. Okay. All right. Next, follow the on-screen guide on how to put on your VR headset. All right, here we go. Let's see what it suggests. Press and hold. Oh, I didn't do that before. Right, pull out the scope. Press and hold. Right, I've done that, but I can't hold it and press the button. Right, press that button. Oh, wrong one. Okay. Release the headband. Oh, I see. Ah, right. That's why it was hurting me. Yep, done. Press the button. Put on the VR headset. Right, here we go, guys. I'm going in. Maybe some time. Lower the headband. So it suggests you pop it on like this. And then, oh, I can see. I feel nauseous already. All right, push in the scope. Press and hold. Yep, done that. Now I've got to find a button. Right, okay. Put on your stereo headphones. It's tickling my nose. Hang on, stereo headphones. Oh, it's wobbling all over the place. Right, okay. Right, that's done. What now? What now, headset? Oh, I'm going to tighten this thing up. Here we go. Oh, that's actually not feeling too bad. Put on the headphones, okay. To make sure you can see the screen clearly, adjust the lens distance so that your eyes are positioned in the middle of the lenses. So here's the dial. I've got to move this about, have I? Oh, okay. Actually, do you know what? It's clear. I was worried that, because I often wear glasses just for close-up work on laptops or reading books, and I was worried that this being that close would cause me an issue, but it's actually nice and sharp, if a little bit fringy. Okay, done. Oh, I can now see around the room. Hold your PSVR2. Oh wow, this is weird. I feel sick already. Put these on. Right, okay, putting them on now. Hold your PSVR2. Put your hands through. Oh, I've got to tighten them up, haven't I? There we go, it's better. You want to do that really, just to be on the safe side. There we go. Got it. Good. Okay. Right, hold your PSVR2 sense. You're actually seeing on the TV now what I'm seeing. There I am. Right, left. Why is it showing the right thing down there? How to use your PSVR2. Move. Cancel. Select. Okay. What now? Next. How to use it? Next. Cancel. Move. I thought I did that. I mean, it's interesting actually. Yeah, no, it's showing the same L2, R2, R1. That L1 with the middle finger is going to take some getting used to. But what I'm finding strange, and you can see this on the screen, the R, so the L is on the controller, but the R is down there somewhere. I do wonder whether the actual, there it goes. The other controller is interesting. So the cameras are determining where this is. And because the other controller was down there, it was confusing it. It actually thought that was the handset. So there we go. Now it's happy. How to use that? So, yep, next. Okay, what do I do to get next out of it? Do I have to press this button again, wherever it was? I don't know how to do next. Okay, it's one of these. Option button, yep, that's that one there. And create button, yep, got those, lovely, very nice. X to go next. Press and hold, actually, you know, it's slightly out of focus, but I think, I don't know that adjusting this is going to help. It is a little bit. Don't mess with it, Rokk. Press and hold. You see, it's above the TV for me. Press and hold the options button to set the direction you're facing at the front. Okay, so I'll do that. I'll actually, do you know what? I'm going to face you guys. There we go. That's better. That's good. So we'll press X to go forward on that one. Oh, it went very dark all of a sudden. PlayStation VR2 tracks the movement of your eyes. During adjustment, follow the red dot with just your eyes without moving your head. The screen will switch between black and white. Right, I've got to find the buttons. That one. Okay. 4. Don't move your head, Rokk. Follow the red dot. Okay, I'm watching. Oh, it's like being at the opticians. Yeah. Ah, it's gone very white. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Okay. What next? Okay. Eye tracking adjustments complete. Try it out by looking at the surrounding dots. Yes. It's my eyes. Set your play area. Okay. Set an area you can safely play. First, you'll need to scan your room using your VR headset's camera. Don't want to kick over anything. That controller is going to cause me mischief. I know it. There we go. Oh, it's gone. There we are. When you're ready, select to start scanning. Look all around you. Look all around you. Oh, look all. Okay, looking around. This is amazing. You could. I don't know if you can see this on the TV, but for me, everything is kind of putting blue polygons all over the cable. It's not like in the cable. There we go. It feels like it's done the whole room. Look all around you. Do I need to do any more? I feel like I've covered the room in all the areas that I'm likely to be playing. I mean, that's it for me, guys. I don't need to. I mean, this camera won't be there. Look all around you. Be careful of the headset. No, I've done it. I feel happy. I feel happy. Can I just press to move on now? Okay. It says you haven't finished setting up your PlayStation. Are you sure you want to cancel? No, but but I've scanned the room. Ah, look all around you. Oh, and the ceiling. Okay. I didn't do the ceiling. It needs to paint the ceiling as well as the rest of the room, so that's fine. It's the most bizarre thing to paint your... this would be a great thing to redecorate your house. Just look around and put furniture in and try different wallpapers and stuff. Right, scanning is complete. Okay, so I'll press the X. Back over here. Look at the floor of your play area. That guy's in a frog suit though. It should appear to be level with your room's floor. Yes, it is, I would say it was. If it looks like it's floating, gently touch your room's floor with your controller. No, I'm happy. It's definitely not floating. Okay, press X. How do you want to play? I prefer to sit, if I'm honest with you. It's weird not having a D-pad, actually. I just suddenly realised there's no D-pad. I like to sit because I'm old. So, okay, set temporary play area. Pick a place where you won't run into obstacles when stretching out your arms and legs. Take steps to prevent pets. So, do you know what? This is where the cable is going to be put to test, because I don't know that this is going to go all the way over here. I've not tried it, you see. Oh, it's done it okay, actually. That works. I mean, I can't sit. I don't know that I can sit all the way back, but I can try. Pick a place. I'm here. Set play area. Oh, look at this. Your temporary play area is set. When using the temporary, you won't be able to get up and move around. With this play area, you can use games and apps. That's all right. You're all set. Hey. Right, what do we do now then? It's getting very dark. Oh no. PlayStation. There it is. Now I need a game. Oh, here is a game. Skip the tour. Get tips, quick tips. It's time to experience the next generation of virtual reality with your PSVR. Use the following tips. Okay, tips. Adjust the settings at any time. You can change settings whenever you want with this activity card. That's quite cool. See your surroundings. Oh yes, you can. You can, if you can find the button. There we are. That's good. And press O to go back. So if you need to have a quick look at your controller, I need to readjust where I'm looking. There it is. There we go. Perfect. Press functions if you're saying, yep, done that. That's good. Discover immersive games. I've actually bought a couple, so don't worry. We'll just let's do this, shall we? Shall we actually fire up Kayak Mirage? Now, this should go into full VR because it's a VR game. A couple of little penguins going on there. It does kind of still feel like there's a thin gauze over the screen. I wouldn't say so far, and it may well be that wasn't your... Oh, hello. Oh my God. Oh my God. So you can see on the screen, I think, I'm on a swimming pool. I'm going to take it all back. This is hyper real. Wow. I feel very strange. I can't see. I kind of want my legs to show up in this kayak. So, do you want to learn the basics of kayaking? Yeah, absolutely. Let's do this. Although I have been kayaking, I do kind of know how it works. So yeah, you literally use this to... But now we're motoring. So I'm going to press a couple of triggers and see what happens. Nothing, nothing. Fish are pretty good though. So, oh, I'm going up and down. Yeah, I can hear a whistle noise, almost like a... I don't think it's the music. It's like a whale or something. But that would be so cool. Yeah, I can hear a blowhole. What's this? Where's this animal? I need to turn around, have a look.